Okay guys, new day and better camera. It was getting late last night, so I figured I'd knock off, bring a better camera down so I don't have to try to hold it, and show you what I did as far as installing these wingtip bows. Just a real quick review. Again, we started out with a full 21-inch diameter, radius wingtip bow, laminated bow, and again, we cut it off at the leading edge, and we've already cut it off at the trailing edge here to kind of match where it lines up here. Here's our leftover piece. Got to save that because that's going on the last rib bay of the aileron to finish forming the curve. I just clamped a piece of stock here, clamped it to the compression strut, extended it outward through the ribs, supported a little bit there with a spring clamp. I marked it at 21 inches out from the point on the rib where I've been setting my trammel point. And again, that's 21 inches from that point to the very tip of the nose of this rib here, which is the rib just inboard of the tip rib. Putting this mark here gives me just a reference point, rough reference point, to make sure that as I fit this bow, I'm going to be about 21 inches out to the edge of the wingtip. And it also acts as kind of a shelf to help support the tip bow a little bit as I let go of it and move around as I fit it, so I don't have to constantly worry about it drooping and falling off. So let me remount this, and we'll kind of go over some of this stuff here as we finish this up. Okay, my spars are already cut to length, and again, what I did as far as marking the spars where to cut them, and it gets it pretty close, is I set my trammel bar at 20 1/4 inches. The reason I did 20 1/4 is because this tip bow is about 3/4 inch thick. So all I had to do was put one trammel point here, rake this other trammel point across the spar, the front one, rake it across the back one, mark it, and cut it. So that should meet up with the inside of the wingtip bow, and it does pretty well. So I'll set this aside. The other thing that we had to do was bevel this notch in the nose of this tip rib, because it doesn't meet flat. The bow curves in that area. So let's kind of roughly fit this. Center it on the nose of this rib. I drew a line across there. That's the center point roughly of that rib. Okay, that's a pretty good spot. Seat the bow in the notch of this rib, and with that meeting up with the nose of that rib there and in the notch, I can just go ahead and take a clamp and clamp that into the notch. Take another clamp here and give that some support so it won't spring forward as I bend the bow around. And as you can see, it fits pretty darn good, just like that. I will have to put a little tension on this as I fit it up with the end of this tip rib here, but so far it is a pretty good fit. Now, one of the things that you can do to check your work, your fit, with the trammel set at 21 inches, which is what the distance is supposed to be from the center of this rib here to the outside edge of the tip bow. Set that in place there on my mark. Hold this roughly where it should be. And then I can swing this trammel along the outside edge here and see where I lie. And right now, without having trimmed those spars down any further, I am within 1/8 of an inch of being exactly 21 inches in radius from the center of that rib to the outside of the tip bow. And that's pretty darn close. I'm not going to worry about it if it's a 1/16 of an inch off or anything like that. I'll fit it so that it is a little bit tighter. When you move the camera, you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, a little different shot. Again, holding the trailing edge of this tip bow roughly in where it belongs, up against the end of that rib there. You can see with my trammel point in place that I'm real close throughout pretty much the whole arc, within about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, here I am just beveling the ends of these cap strips that form up this rib here. This way the tip bow gets a little clearance as it comes around. Sandpaper, file, whatever you have on hand to use. That's going to be pretty good. Touch it up a little bit. And my last step will be fine-tuning of the other end of this bow here so that it fits up a little better on the end of this tip rib here. And that I will do on a tabletop bench sander, belt sander. Little at a time. I will check the fit. Nice pencil mark here along the edge, thickness of about a 1/16 or so, and then I can visually see when I hit it on the sander how much I'm taking off, a little at a time, little bites. Alright, a little close up of the trailing edge here. As I pull this bow around, you can see that it matches up pretty darn good without deflecting the tail end of this rib in either direction, which keep my aileron well nice and straight. So that looks like it's going to be a go for gluing. I'll Probably secure this with a couple extra clamps, maybe a ratchet strap over here in this bend, just to pull it up snug. We'll see what it looks like once we get it done. Heat lets me know that it's carrying. It's getting warm. And my gloves are stuck, so that's a good sign. All right, here we go. Finished wingtip bow installation. Left wing here. And the right wing here. And now as far as checking, just for curiosity, we'll see what the radius comes out to be. Line the trammel up here on this dot. And we can trace around to the trammel. I am about 1/16 of an inch off. Close enough. Good luck with yours.